Hi, I am Lorraine Wilson, and I am a Scottish writer writing speculative fiction with my debut novel coming out with Luna on the 3rd of August. This is my debut novel. This is Our Undoing. Pre-orders open on the 3rd of June. So the book is about a scientist called Lena Stevenson who lives in the Rila Mountains in Bulgaria. She has a dangerous past, and when an enemy from her past is murdered, her family are put in danger, and she has to fight to protect them. And also she must struggle with the question of how much she is willing to destroy of herself to protect the people that she loves. And I'm going to read to you a small scene from fairly near the beginning, where Lena is talking to a young boy called Kai, who is the youngest son of her murdered enemy. And someone, we don't know who, has just left a rather macabre and menacing message outside the station. And she wants to know whether Kai saw anything. This is that scene. So, she found him sitting in the barn, on the floor beside Tiago's workbench, arranging and rearranging a handful of nails into patterns in the dust. "Did you have some lunch?" she said, lowering herself against the wall, the sun lying short-angled alongside her. He looked up, with his fingers poised above a long, thin nail, rusted red. "Yes," he said slowly. She saw the hesitation on his thin face and said quietly, "You can get more, whenever you want. There's always food in the fridge, and bread and fruit out waiting. It's okay. You don't need to be hungry." She'd seen this in those short weeks she'd lived with Jericho, the assumption that food was not for him, that taking it might be dangerous. Jericho had hoarded it, bread going hard beneath his pillow, biscuits fallen to crumbs in his pockets. It had taken him months to stop, and Lena hoped the journey would not bring it back. Kai smiled like an unfurling flower. "Lena?" "Yes." He shifted the nails into some new configuration, the beginnings of a face. "What was it in the trees?" This was what she'd come for, but it still made her catch her breath. "Did you see something?" The face gained eyes that were crossed nails. "A monster." The mouth was given 2 short nails as fangs. Lena wanted to reach out and scrub a hand across it all. One of the swallows was perched watchfully on a beam above them, its chicks murmuring. A wall lizard dashed beneath Tiago's bench into a strip of sun, head tilted, also watchful. The boy noticed none of it, drawing his fingertip down each fang, rust marks on his skin. "A monster," Lena said eventually. "What did it look like?" "Fierce." Kai sounded thoughtful and not at all afraid. "Quiet." "Was it a man, did you see?" He frowned. "It was a shadow," he said. The lizard ran past the boy's knee towards a line of ants, stopped again. The swallow cast itself out into the sky. Lena flexed her fingers carefully. The shadow. It had not been, though, not this time. The cameras had all worked, so it was only someone who had known where they were. "I think," she said, "that it was a person who's good at hiding and wanted to play a joke on us." Kai lifted the fang nails away, studied the face, and put them back. "Can you stay out of the forest, Kai, when you're on your own?" He looked up. "You can go further if you're with your mum, or Xander, or one of us, but stay in the meadow otherwise, won't you?" "Why?" Lena hesitated. "Your mum might worry if we don't know where you are." He lifted the fangs away again, set them aside, and turned the mouth into a smile. "She does worry," he said, removing one nail from each eye so that they became slits or asleep. "But not about someone hurting me." There had been the slightest emphasis in his voice. Someone hurting me. Lena replayed it again in her mind, but couldn't bring herself to ask because however she looked at it, the words were too sad. "I think we'll all worry if you get lost or hurt," she said. "The meadow is very safe, and the forest is too, most of the time. But still, please stay close. Is that okay?" "Yes," he said, giving her that startling smile again. "I'll stay close." Lena nodded, said thank you and rose, dusting her shorts down and hearing the swallow chicks begging again, although she had not noticed the adult arrive. "It's not me, the monster wants to hurt anyway," Kai said as she was turning, and Lena looked down at his bent head. "Not this time." "It won't hurt any of us," she said firmly.